There's certain industries you can make 100% ROI, like literally within 12 months, you've got your money back, and then you've got a rental property for £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 a month. The R&D team are consistently breaking the cert, pushing the boundaries of how far they can build links, how aggressively they can build links, especially live casino industry. You can be earning £300,000, £400,000, £500,000 a month on a site that doesn't look like it's even doing that much.
What do you think everyone is doing wrong with their link building?
They are obsessed with thinking that relevance traffic in DR is the holy grail of link building.
If you had a brand new site, what are the three main things, the three first things that you're doing to the site?
The minute you create your first article, as long as it's loosely relevant to where it was, you're going to start getting traffic pretty much from day one.
All right, James, well, thanks so much for taking the time to join me on my channel today. So first of all, I have a little story. So we both attended the Birmingham conference, the one Charles sets up. And so I was doing the little vlog, right, where I basically was talking to people, trying to get as many SEO nuggets as possible from all the big guys that were there. And absolutely everybody was saying that I had to, one, speak to Mads Singers, because he has a specific way of solving problems and he sees business in his own way. And then number two, I had to speak to you because everyone's saying that you're probably one of the most successful SEOs that they'd been around. And so it's really cool to have you on the podcast. Yeah. How are you doing today? Where are you based right now, actually?
Based in Manchester.
Okay.
Do quite a lot of traveling, but generally based out of Manchester in England, and then travel like 1-2 weeks here and there. So just came back a couple of days ago from Turkey, there with the family.
Nice.
So, well, yeah. And then going to Chiang Mai this month. So
are you going to Chiang Mai?
Yeah, I'm going to Chiang Mai. You going?
Okay. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll see you there then. That's amazing.
Yeah,
outstanding. So you're involved in an insane amount of businesses, different ventures. I found a list online. I think it was on FatRank about all the different things you're doing. There's like a bullet list of like 24 things. So we can't talk about all those things, but I do want to kind of get to the beginning. Like, how did you get started in SEO? What was that first success? What were you doing before that?
So prior to that, I was a project manager, quantity surveyor type role in the construction industry. I realised very quickly within the business that we needed a consistent flow of quality inquiries. We wasn't getting inbound inquiries at all, so it was a struggle. So we started to go out to some lead generation companies. We tried to build a website ourselves, but it wasn't ranking. The lead generation companies just sold us leads, but there wasn't quality leads and stuff like that. So we always seemed to be almost like using the phrase of like pushing water uphill. It was always seemed to be struggling in getting the right amount, but then also the right quality of inquiries that we needed. So I felt like so many companies was doing it wrong for lead generation. They were just more worried about volume as opposed to quality. So over the first 18 months of us first starting out in internet marketing, not just SEO, but in pay-per-click or whatever it was, we needed to get our head around how we could generate a volume of inquiries that we could convert and turn into profit. I felt like so many people in the industry was more talking about impressions and clicks when it came to like how many retweets that they had on Twitter and stuff like that. And we just give it was literally one thing we just cared about. It was ROI, return on investment, how much we put in and how much we got out. How many times the phone was ringing. I wasn't really bothered about how many retweets or likes or impressions or clicks or whatever that was. It was just literally how many times we phoned, what the conversion rate was, and what we made on the back of that. And that's kind of how it started. And that's where we dabbled for the first 2 or 3 years in everything really, whether it was like social media, building up groups, doing PPC, doing doing SEO and stuff like that. So, and then we started to realize that actually the most profitable channel was SEO, because once you did start to get the rankings, obviously then there's no, apart from hosting, there's not really that many costs in maintenance in certain industries. Obviously in certain industries, you need to keep freshness of content going and freshness of backlinks and stuff like that. But we quickly moved into the SEO market, and yeah, since then, we never really looked back since then. We've had obviously a lot of failures and a lot of hurdles along the way, but we did a lot of networking. And I think, like I think mentioned prior to it, is that the R&D team and the testing team and stuff like that was probably our biggest. After 2-3 years, when we started to make a little bit of money, we moved into an R&D and a testing team, and that just allowed us to test everything of what was working in the industry at that present time.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that testing team because I think it's incredibly interesting that you have that going on. I had Kazra Dash last week on the channel. He talked about the recent Google updates, which we're also going to talk about. He was saying that one of your first things was, I believe it was a rank and rent model where you basically blanketed the first page full of your own websites.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us a little bit about that and what niche that was in?
So actually the start was just for our own sites. It wasn't even rent. It was just literally, we had ambitions to grow the construction company and build different things out in our own business. So we started to realize that if we could rank number 1 and number 2 and number 3 for our keywords, then happy days. And that's kind of how we grew out. And then what started to happen then was, we call it like shouldering niches or neighboring niches. So who was we winning work for? Could we get them busier to get us more work with them as well? So whether it was like a fencing contractor, a ground worker, a landscaping company, and that's where then the rank and rent model kind of built up from there. So it was always in close niches to what we was already in, and could we get them busier that got us more work? And then from there, then it just built out and built out and built out. And I'm sure you've heard today, we've got over 800 different industries and niches that we're in. So it's just, we never set out to do that initially. Yeah. It just kind of kept growing and growing and growing. And when we started seeing return on investment of what we was putting into what we was getting out, it was worth us going into every industry that we could think of that someone would pay for leads, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so the first million for the business, was that basically that strategy? It was the construction company.
Yes, the first million was made in the construction company, and then it just quickly escalated from there. Then because then obviously the quicker we started to get our clients busy, the more business we had. But then probably I'd say 4 years in, we started to realize actually we're making more money now on lead generation than we actually was on the construction company. And that's when then we turned the whole model around of, right, let's scale out. And we still have the construction company today. I mean, that business has grown from, in total, it was doing 500,000 a year, and now that does 8 million a year in revenue. So we don't really want to grow it that much more than that now. It does like playgrounds and sports pitches and artificial grass and stuff like that. And we're happy with where that business is at. Sometimes we could probably grow it to about 15 million in revenue, but the net profit line wouldn't grow that much more. So we're kind of happy with where that's at now. We sit at a high barrier to entry, and that's kind of we found that's a perfect point for that business. But obviously then we started to invest in other companies and stuff like that, whether it was like road markings or doing tarmac on sports pitches on fencing and stuff like that. So the growth happened that way.
And so for someone who's a complete beginner, could you break down what rank and rent is today? What that looks like?
Rank and rent is where you build a website, you rank it for the terms that you want to rank it for, that it starts to get traffic and inquiries, that a company would want those inquiries. So, and then at that point, you speak to them saying, basically, it's like a lead generation, but as opposed to paying per lead, they rent the website from you. And that's kind of how it works. We've now taken it one step further where we try to get exclusivity with companies that we then will build them out in their branding. So it's almost like we're building a site for them that we own, that we're giving exclusive leads to them. And they're happy to do it because if you're a dental practice, you're very good at doing implants or dentures or whatever it is that you do with regards to the teeth. You're not good at marketing. Like you've been trained to, I couldn't do what they do, but they can't do what I can do, if you get what I mean. So it kind of works hand in hand where we completely eliminate risk to the clients. We charge them nothing for the content, nothing for the backlinks, nothing for like building out topical authority, building the site out, doing the images, doing the videos. We do everything we possibly can to make certain we're ranking across all platforms, whether it's Google Images, video, Google Videos, YouTube, going on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, everything. We want every traffic source we can think of. And then once they're happy with the inquiries that they get, and we'll set up, they might say, we're happy to rent it out at £1,500 a month. And we might agree with that figure. And then they're happy, we're happy, they're generating inquiries. they're making a return on investment, and we're happy to rent it out at that price.
Is it always a monthly thing, or do you guys ever take equity in the company or like a percentage of revenue? Or
so that's a great question. It's every single niche is different. We have a sales team as well that deals with this. And I get asked this question so many times of what's the best model? Is it being an SEO agency and just charging them for content and backlinks? Is it doing lead generation and charging them per lead? Is it doing lead generation and asking them for a kickback on a back end? Or is it doing a rank and rent model? And from industry to industry, and it matters how good the client is, it completely depends. And I know that's a bad answer to give, but it's not a one size fits all. Yep. So normally we'll enter it that we'll do it on a lead generation where we say, don't pay us anything. If you convert an inquiry, pay us a finder's fee. And that's the kind of model of how it works. Then what starts to happen is, after 6 months, 12 months, they then just start to get into, we want kind of a fixed rate because it allows us then to know exactly what we're getting on a return on investment on that website and how much we can spend on that website. And then they want, a lot of the times, 12 months down the line, they just want a fixed rate. So they don't have to start micromanaging every single lead and how much profit they've made and what kickback to give us. So in time, the rank and rent model seems to work the best. But to start with, you can't go out and you can't go out to a new client and say, do you want to rent this site for £1,000 a month? Because they don't know how many leads you're generating and what quality the leads are. So you kind of have to test the model out. They've got to test the model out. And then once both parties are happy, then at that point, you can do the rank and rent model.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because when I started in the SEO space, which was around 8 years ago, I started with the same model. So I was in school at Vancouver at that time in Canada, and I created a fake dentist website, kind of just testing, learning things online, ranked it, and then ended up contacting the top 30, 40 dentists saying like, hey, I have all these leads. Can I sell them to you? The issue that I was having is that most people didn't believe that. Well, there was one guy who tried to sue me. He was like, oh, you're pretending to be a dentist online. What are you doing? This is kind of sketchy. Yeah. And most people just didn't believe that I was getting those leads, right? How do you convince the client, or how do you come across in a way that's like, you've built something and you're ranking it and it's a real thing, but you're not scamming people, right?
So, I mean, probably the easiest way to start with is if you choose a certain industry that you want to get into, you can build like a directory for that industry. So what you can start to do is not faking it to say, oh, this is who I am, and you might not be then, and faking addresses and all the rest of it. We kind of don't go down that road because Google are very clever and very savvy at people who are doing like mass GMBs or Google business profiles, and they're all getting suspended all the time. And I just didn't like that model of trying to fake it, because obviously not only that, is if you start putting like fake accounts online and stuff like that, or fake information, and some people like editing with Photoshop like certain bank statements and all sorts for proof of address, that's fraud. So you're gonna get in trouble. So we generally do like the directory type listing site where we'll just list here's the best 10 plumbers in this area. And then on the site, there might be ads kind of displayed on there. And then once the leads start to come through, like, because on that site, we'll have call to action saying, if you want us to give you the best plumber for wet rooms or whatever, what it is, that a leak or whatever they're looking for, the leads start coming through there. We give them to the plumbers. And then normally at that point, they start to have a bit of a trust. Once they've had maybe 20 inquiries, they start to trust us that the leads aren't spam, they're not being sent to 10 other companies. And at that point, once they start having that little bit of trust in you, they then start to ask more questions like, how can you help us with our website?
Got it.
And then we do help them with their website as well. Like I've got an agency that does content and backlinks called Searcheroo. So we can help them on their website, but a lot of the time we say, look, if you legitimately want to rank for this term, it's going to cost you £40,000-50,000. And they're not willing to put that £40,000-50,000 in because we might not rank it for those terms. Like, you can't guarantee SEO. So they'll say, well, all right, I'll pay 50,000 if you can guarantee it. And you're like, well, nobody can guarantee anything in SEO. So then at that point, they see it as being too much of a risk. And then at that point, then we say, well, we'll build you a website and I'll happily pay £50,000 if you think you can convert the inquiries, I'll build you a website that I'll pay for. You just rent it out. And then at that point, they say yes. And if we can build it bigger than what we kind of planned on doing, which we can do, obviously just need more content and more backlinks. At that point, we might be able to rent that out for £3,000 a month. So if I go and put £50,000 into a house, there's no chance I'm even getting £1,000 a month, never mind £3,000 a month. So the digital real estate, and like some people say, what's your job role? And I say, I'm a digital landlord. Like, because that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm building up real estate online and renting it out. And that's kind of the role of how we do it. And the return on investment still to this day is unbelievable. There's certain industries you can make 100% ROI, like literally within 12 months, you've got your money back. And then you've got a rental property for £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 a month. So wow. It's a great model, but they don't want to put that money in to start with. Right. So you're taking the risk, but we're taking the risk because we know we're good at what we do. Now, so many people say, oh, I want to get started in what you do. And it's not an easy task. You need to learn SEO to start with. You need to know how to rank websites. It's took us 6 or 7 years to get good at what we did. And in the last 5 years, at that point, we've scaled it massively. And we've got the right systems, processes, and stuff in place that's allowed us to scale it out. For a newbie who's getting into SEO, I'd highly recommend going working in an agency to start with. Just you need to get good at SEO. You can't you've got to learn the trade and learn what good quality content is, what good quality backlinks is, what good silo structure is, how to build a technically decent site before you can start. Everyone tries to run before they can walk, and you just got to get the core fundamentals correct to start with.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, and so what are you currently doing today? How many projects are you involved with? I don't even know. Yeah, how many projects are you involved with? And what does your day-to-day look like? I think that's also really interesting.
Day-to-day is get up about 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay. We go straight into the office then. So a lot of staff don't start till about 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock maybe. So that allows me to get like 3 hours in the morning, like not being distracted at all, 3 hours of flow state, doing whatever I need to do. I'm not running, I don't have any day-to-day tasks that I need to do. It's all just making certain that existing business partners are happy, making certain that like the middle managers are happy in what they're doing, just the direction of the business, if I'm being honest. Like I'm kind of working on the business as opposed to inside of the business. So that's kind of the role. And then once the staff come in, we've got 12 in Wilmslow in South Manchester. And they're all my directors of different companies of what we have. Each one of them are allowed up to 10 VAs per person. Some might only have 6 or 7. And then a lot of the time, a lot of my staff are directors who initially started out as being, let's say, an apprentice. They normally end up becoming my business partner. So they might be really good in a certain aspect of what they do. And then I build a kind of a business around that person. And that's kind of how we now started to build out a lot of the service-based type businesses what we have. So we've invested in autoblogging.ai, which is a product for AI content. Yeah. We invested in Searcheroo, which is a content and link building agency. We created a brand called EEAT SEO. We needed it ourselves. Like we was buying a lot of websites and the EEAT wasn't good enough, and was like, let's just get a system and process set up. So it's very easy for me to buy a website, plug it into that business, and 2 weeks later, I know that all the EEAT kind of foundations are set up correctly. I then started to hit a few problems with link penalties. So I went out to Marketplace and I must have used about 10, 11 different companies that did disavows. And Rick Lomas was like by far the best. Like he's the godfather of disavows. And at the time he was going through 1 or 2 problems at home with his personal life, like his wife had died and stuff. So at that point, me and Rick teamed up and we set up Backlink Doctor, which is a Disavow brand. He trained us up on everything to do with backlinks. Now, I thought I was very advanced at doing backlinks until I spoke to Rick Lomas, and he just blew me out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that a high DR, traffic and relevance, that's it, that's all you need. And I was thinking I was good at thinking that, because I'm going, you definitely need relevance and you definitely need traffic. With the DR, that's the holy grail. And then he started talking to me about trust and bad link neighborhoods and toxicity. I'm like, I've not even heard of any of that. I've heard of trust flow within Majestic, but the way he started to analyze what a good link and a bad link was, I was like, wow, like I know nothing about this. So then I wanted to dig deeper, because I knew that not only will the Disavow company help me a lot on if I get a link penalty, but if I can understand properly what a good backlink and a bad backlink is, I'm going to save a fortune. So we then integrated that into the Search-Through database. So I think in total we had, I don't know the exact numbers, but I remember we deleted 35% of the database in Search-Through because there was toxic.
Wow.
So we've got, I think it's something like over 100,000 domains that are toxic. And I don't mean to badmouth any other link agencies, because some, like I'm not even mentioning any others, but some of these others are, you're paying $200, $300, $400 a link, and these people are building you toxic links.
Yeah, we know who they are.
And it's horrible to see. It's not nice at all. And it's kind of, I suppose they've got to learn the hard way, but sometimes they're not going to know. If they don't even know what trust and toxicity means, they're not going to know. And they're just going to keep going ahead with buying these toxic links. And it's, like I said, it's sad to see nowadays, but that's kind of the way of the world, it seems to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I do also want to talk about this testing team that you've set up. So first of all, how did that come about? How big is this team? What type of things are you guys myth busting? I know you probably can't talk about everything, but any crazy thing that you can maybe share that people think is just a massive myth? So
the team came about because I was so annoyed with, when I first started out in SEO, I was so annoyed with listening to a 1 hour video that gave me maybe 2-3 minutes of a knowledge bomb and 57 minutes of them explaining who they are, and then them trying to sell me something. And that's kind of what all the videos used to be like. There was no packed value. It was just them trying to sell you something, or them trying to prove that they're the best SEO in the world. And a lot of times I was listening to all these, I must have listened to thousands of hours worth of training and stuff like that. And I was doing exactly to the blueprint of what they was asking me to do, and it wasn't working. And at that point I was like, there's something fundamentally not right here. And then when we started to scale, because I'm quite aggressive in the way that I want to scale out, we was getting link penalties and people were saying disavows don't work. And we was like, well, I don't mean it. I've done some disavows and they have worked. So with regards to like when EEAT first came out a couple of years ago, I thought, this is a load of rubbish. This is just a load of rubbish. There's no such thing as EEAT. It's just a pitch that people are trying to do. I know Google came out with it, but I just thought they was trying to do smokes and mirrors. So, but then we started to get all for transparency penalties. So I was like, what even is this? So then and it's a manual penalty in Google Search Console. So then we quickly started to realize, oh, this is a thing. So the R&D team are consistently breaking the cert, pushing the boundaries of how far they can build links, how aggressively they can build links, what type of links that they can build, how aggressively can we build articles? Can we build 500 articles a day on a website? And what will that do? Will it consistently grow, or will it grow and then fall off a cliff? How many links can we build with the amount of content velocity that we do? So we're just trying to break everything to see the boundaries and see how far we can push, because I had a great mentor when I was younger, and they always said that no successful person ever did anything in the comfort zone. And I've taken that kind of philosophy and moved it into SEO. How far can I push it? Like, because so many people think that, oh, they can only build links, let's say, to here, when actually you can build it to there. Now, there might be a penalty, but there works out nicely. So I'm going to be building double the amount of links today then, and I'm pretty certain that I'm not going to get myself in a penalty. So it's just little things like that. How far can you push exact match anchors? Because exact match anchors work really, really well. Even to this day, work really well. But if you over-optimize it, it's one of the first things that cause you to get a penalty. So it's just little thresholds of knowing how far you can push certain things. And yes, over the years, we've learned so much with what you can and can't do. Yeah,
it's a massive advantage also having just that data, just at your fingertips. And what's the size of that team?
There's 9. Well, I always say there's 9. I think there's about 40, if I'm being honest. But there's 9 physically in-house employed. But some of them have like 2 or 3 that are consistently running tests on different sites. So like some of them might be scaling the 500 blog posts, let's say, per day on a site. And how far does that push? Some people are pushing like physical silos, reverse silos, how much internal link anchor text that you can get away with, anchor text ratios from an external backlink point of view. Can you get away with building out sites with no EAT signals? And kind of on that, we got to a point where it was just like, just do things like a real business would do. Like don't cut corners. Just, even if it is slightly overkill, just do everything right to start with. Get your branded anchors, get your naked URL anchors, get your generic anchors, like all pretty much to the homepage initially to build that up. Just start off in like your traffic tiers. So going after some easier terms to get some traffic coming through to your site and building it up. I think Daniel Carter called it the SEO avalanche approach. And just building it up and building it up and building it up and doing stuff steadily. Now, the testing team don't do that, but that's kind of what we do on our money sites. And because we always want to make certain that Google can change the dials at any point. So what we don't want to do is, if there is what you can do, if we're here and they test the dial and move it to there, well, we're going to have a load of sites that have been hit and stuff like that. And sometimes you don't need 1,000 referring domains on a local rank and rent website. You might only need 200 referring domains, and that's good enough. You might only need 60 kind of blog posts, and that's more than enough in that industry. But then obviously in the finance industry, you might need 5,000 referring domains and 3,000 blog posts. So it's just trying to work out exactly what needs to be done and trying to do it in the most efficient way.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah. What have you seen as the industry that has the greatest ROI in terms of just ROI, I guess?
Do you mean what type? So whether it's affiliate, e-commerce, SaaS?
No, I think more than that. Just, is it the finance? Is it tech? Is it?
Right. Okay. So industries. So the local rank and rents don't get you a lot of money. They might earn you up to maybe maximum £5,000 a month. Okay. Because a lot of time you hit a threshold. You can earn more than that, but a lot of time you hit a threshold with the type of company that you're dealing with. Right. They don't want to kind of grow much more than that because it becomes a headache for them, more vans on the road and stuff like that. So the rank and rent model, there's a lot of different industries to go into, but they're all relatively small in revenue per industry. The iGaming industry, like slots, bingo, casino, especially live casino, betting and stuff like that, that's very lucrative. So especially live casino industry, you can be earning 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 £500 a month on a site that doesn't look like it's even doing that much. Because the player value of the live casino players is huge. So that's a good industry. The casino market's always stood as well and done as well over the years. The finance market in certain industries is very good. We actually own a call center. So on the finance side, our problem was we were generating too many inquiries for, let's say, mortgage brokers who might have already been on the phone. So then we've kind of moved that into a call center now that we own. So we've got over 100 staff in a call center in Manchester.
Jesus.
So all that goes into there and they become a sales generation as opposed to a lead generation. But we get, depending on within the finance sector, whether it's pensions or equity release or loans, or whether it's like bridging loans, equity, invoice factoring and stuff like that depends on whether we get anything from 6 to 10x more for a hot lead than we do for a web lead. So some of them we might only get paid £100 for a lead, let's say for invoice factoring, but we'd get paid £1,000 a lead if it was a hot lead where we've taken in the information, done a fact find on them, they're doing over $1 million in revenue, right? And then when we send that on to the invoice factoring company, they'll pay us £1,000. Still not even converted, just for a hot lead. So the finance has done well as well over the years. And then, I mean, there's so many different ways. When we come to these networking events, I see certain people in niches that I've never even heard of, like some cream industries and stuff like that. And you're like, wow, you're making £100,000 a month just in the cream industry. And they're like, yeah. And there's some like acne cream and stuff like that. And then there's others that are making a lot in SaaS products and stuff like that. The AI industry at present, that's probably one of the most lucrative industries that they are. I think like the net profit margins on them are normally above 80% in net profit. So it's ridiculous kind of
insane.
Like how much you can earn and stuff like that. So I feel like there's so many different industries you can enter. One thing I would say to you is some people kind of say, follow your passion, follow what you like. I'd completely disagree. Like, I know you're doing it on a day in, day out basis. So you kind of got to have, you can't consistently be writing about, let's say, another big one for us is funeral directors, right?
Okay.
Funeral directors is not a passion of mine at all. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But we've realised everybody in the world's going to die at some point, and people need a funeral director. And for that reason, we think it's a lucrative kind of market to say we can do lead generation for it. The funeral directors don't really know what they're doing. And it's not really an industry you can do a lot of like nice images on or videos on or anything like that, because it's a horrible industry. But sometimes the industries that aren't nice from that point of view can be a lucrative industry. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes people say, oh, I'm going to follow my passion and do art and design. And it's like, well, everyone does art and design. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to make much money from that. Like, I know another one that makes quite a lot. We'll talk about the creams, and they do a lot in anal bleaching cream.
Damn.
Now, that's not someone's passion. Do you know what I mean? So it's you've just got to find certain markets where you feel you can find an angle and you can give something slightly different to what's already there, and properly enter the market and scale it, and it can work well.
Damn. Interesting. Very inspiring. You got my head spinning. So what do you consider your greatest SEO success to date? Like, what is that one keyword that you ranked that you were like, there's no way we got that done? Maybe you don't have to say the specific keyword, but
we've got a few where we've ranked for some very, very big. We've still got one now to this day, and it earns us nearly 6 figures a month for the page. But it ranks for over 1,000 different keywords on the page that are very lucrative. In the iGaming industry, if you can rank for certain keywords especially in the live casino market, if you can rank for certain terms in there, then great. A lot of the time, it's not really a big, like one big keyword. It's a collective of, I don't want a site that's propped up on one really good keyword, because if I woke up tomorrow and that keyword dropped, I'd be devastated. Do you know what I mean? So like, we build out a lot of sites that we want to rank for everything, get topical coverage for every possible keyword we can do. And if anything, I try to go after the little ones and build up and build up and build up and build up until I can get the harder ones to be done. So along the way, when you're building up your traffic tiers, you get to the point that at some point, the big keywords are going to pop and they're going to get to number one, because the amount of traffic and behavioral signals that your site has, you're going to start getting the big terms. I don't really chase the big terms to start with. I always go after ones that I feel I can win on and then build up from there.
Nice. And so when you talk about the iGaming industry, do you look at it like you're building affiliate websites to just refer clients over and you get that recurring commission? Or is it you're building online casinos and online slot?
So I'm actually business partners with a couple of people that have got very, very, very successful. They own the casinos.
Okay.
And I've never really got into doing the actual casino myself. I just prefer the affiliate market. Okay. I go send them a player, I get paid £200 per player and 40% rev share on anything that they lose for the next 2-3 years. And it's just that model only. They go into it, they run the casinos and they do everything they want with regards to like text message campaigns, email campaigns to try and keep them wagering bets or playing the roulette or baccarat or blackjack or whatever it is that they want to play online. The like Carl Hudson, who I part own Searcheroo with, he built out 47 online casinos, and he ranked for nearly every term you can think of. So he ranked for like online slots, slot games, online casino online, every term you can think of, which is a big keyword. Carl ranked for. So he's a great SEO. Like, so he's one that probably goes a little bit under the radar. He doesn't normally, like myself, it's only recently now started to do a few of these podcasts.
Yeah.
He, me and him bounce ideas all the time. He uses my R&D testing team. He always gives me ideas to test certain things out. And because we're in some of the toughest niches, it's easy for us to keep testing things because there's so many pages or so many sites that aren't yet ranking. We say, okay, let's try and move this forward. So yeah, he owns a lot of the sites himself, the casino sites, and yeah, he does a great job on that front.
Damn, yeah, because just from my understanding, I mean, I'm aware of the casino affiliate niche, but actually setting up an online casino, the legality of it, the complications with how to get that license and all that, I'm sure it's quite complex.
There's a lot of like white label type casinos that you can
really?
shell onto and stuff like that, but you need a lot of money to go into it as well. Like, and I think especially in the UK with UK Gambling Commission at the moment, I wouldn't advise it, if I'm being honest with you. Like the amount of taxes and stuff like that that's coming in, and it's not really an industry that's thriving at present, if I'm being honest with you. So it's not really something that otherwise I would have moved into it and set up in my own casino site as well, because I've already got the affiliate sites that are driving players.
Right.
You just don't know where the industry is going to be within the gambling industry at present, with what thresholds that they might put in for like maximum bets, stuff like that. So
and so did you, given how well you can rank websites and how easy it is for you to do the rank and rent model, did you ever consider just starting up? Let's say you rank for a gardening in London or whatever keyword. Did you ever consider just setting up your own gardening business, or just taking all those leads for yourself?
Again, that's a great question. So what starts up is initially no, like I didn't like it. I've got 2 kids now, so I've got to be very careful with how many businesses I'm kind of keep getting involved with.
Right.
But I'm addicted. I'm addicted to success. I'm addicted to growth and wanting my team to grow and everything else to grow. So the plan was never to get involved in, let's say, a gardening company. But yes, we have ended up doing that. And I think what started to happen, and I'll tell you the reason why this happened. A lot of these companies that started to rent our websites started renting them for 2, 3, 4 years. And then the owner of the company normally has some like epiphany and like wakes up in the middle of the night and says, "Hold on a minute, I've built my whole business now on quicksand. Like I'm 100% reliant on James Dooley providing me those inquiries. And at any point he could switch me off tomorrow." And they might have grown from 2 vans on the road to 20 vans on the road. And what you start to realize is some of these people now they're almost like scared. They're scared that I could switch them off. So at that point, I created, this was about 5 years ago, I created a vision statement to make it very clear that mainly for my staff, not for me, but we have to do everything with honest trust and integrity to make certain that we don't just, if someone does come and offer us £500 a month more, if we built a site over a stretch of a few years with a company that have grown with us, we can't just switch them off. Like, it's just not something that we can do, even if somebody decides to pay us a couple of £100 more, because it's not right. And with power becomes great responsibility. And I think what starts to happen is some of these owners start to ring me up and want a meeting, and they normally end up saying, James, I want to give you 25% of my business. I'm like, what? Why? And they're like, but I want you to sign exclusivity that then leads can never go elsewhere. You can still own the site, but I need something in there because I've got a lot of staff and I've got a lot of people on the road that are working. I can't afford to have if you turn these leads off, that's it, I'm done. And then we normally end up coming to some sort of agreement. I try not to just go in and, okay, on 25%. I value the company. I'll give them an investment into the company. Now pay them for the 25%, but that 25% that I'll pay into will be for marketing growth further. To them, we'll take over their website, we'll rank their website, but now I'm become a shareholder within their business. So yes, it has ended up growing to be, I'm now involved in so many different real businesses, not just online businesses. And that's kind of how it grew. Right. I didn't set out to initially do that.
Okay. That's crazy. Nice. All right. Switching things up a little bit. What do you think everyone is doing wrong with their link building?
So with link building, good question. They are obsessed with DR. Okay. They are obsessed with thinking that relevance traffic in DR is the holy grail of link building. They don't look at trust. They don't look at toxicity. They don't look at bad link neighborhoods. They don't realize that every single domain has got a toxicity threshold. So, and what I mean by that is in my casino industry, I know that my toxicity threshold is 1,400, right? But I then, because we've got like our own link simulator, like in-house of where we're building certain things up on, we then start to realize that certain backlink profiles might have not enough relevant links, so then we need some more relevance, or not enough trusted links, so they need some more trust kind of signals. Not enough naked URLs or branded type links, so we need some more citations, or we might go and do a press release syndication blast, which gets them 300 links, but it's mainly just for the diversity of getting a lot of different referring domains and naked URLs that come back to the site, mentions of the NAP if they've got an address, and stuff like that, maybe embed of an image or an embed of a video as well, mentioning the authors that's on the page on the backlinks, so that it's not just on the author's not just mentioned on their one website, it's also mentioned across the internet as being an expert. So that then, because people think EEAT is just on-page signals, but it's not. It's like the Google quality raters have got to start, what they'll do is they'll type in your name minus your website to see what other sources on the internet say that person is an expert in that topic that's not on your website. So if you can start building backlinks that's mentioning that you've won awards, that this kind of author is an expert, that is probably the holy grail of backlinks in today's world. But people are not doing it. People are still chasing DR traffic and relevance and thinking that's all they need. And that's why some people go in the SEO industry, a lot of people seem to do affiliate, and so many affiliate sites go like that. Then they go above the toxicity threshold and then they get hit. And then they're reactive to say, what do I need to do? And it's not normally it's to do with EEAT problems, or they need a disavow because they've gone too aggressive. There is times where people could say, well, it's about the quality of content, but a lot of the time it's to do with the quality of content. They're probably not got there because Google's never ranking it in the first place anyway. So a lot of the times it's to do with toxicity of the backlink profile or EEAT problems. And if they can resolve that, then go back into the content, freshen it up and improve it, then normally that's kind of, we have a website recovery company. That's something that Kazra speaks a lot about nowadays. That's something that kind of has made him tick, that makes him happy, that he kind of deals with sites that have been hit and he can recover it. And he's, to be fair, he's doing a really good job on it. And it's not like, all right, what is it that Kazra's doing that's amazing? it's not one thing. He's doing everything right across the board. So he's going, have you ticked that? Have you ticked that? Have you ticked this? Have you ticked that? Have you ticked that? Have you ticked that? And he's just going through a checklist process. I think there's 14 steps to the website recovery of what he needs to do. And yeah, his results are great at present. It's good. It's good to see.
Yeah, he gave some really good tips last week on how to recover a website, things that people are doing wrong. So yeah, he knows a lot. Okay, what about content, AI content? Are you embracing it on your sites? I'm sure the 500 blog posts a day is probably not human written.
Well, the 500 blog posts a day is AI content.
Okay.
I would not use AI for big money pages. Just because I feel it needs, like, from a conversion rate standpoint, you need to have that personality to behind it. You need to have the persuasive kind of ad copy in there and stuff like that. So for money pages, we don't personally. Now that would go, some people will say, I completely disagree. It can be done for money pages, and it can be. And there's loads of examples of where it has worked. But for the big money pages, I still prefer writing 100% human written.
Okay.
For supporting documents, AI writes it, and then we put a human intervention of editing. Is there anything that just doesn't sound right? Is there anything in the introduction that we could improve on to kind of get the hook in to get them to kind of scroll further down the page? Can we add any more unique, because we use like Mid-Journey for images and stuff like that, but can we get a nice image put on there? Can we get a video put on there as well? Because we try holistically to rank everywhere, like not just in web search, but in, like I said, in Google Images. We can share that then on Pinterest and try and get shares on there. Share it on Instagram, share it on Twitter. We want traffic from every possible source that you can. Upload the video to try and rank in Google videos, YouTube, Vimeo, everywhere. Like, if we've created a video, I want to maximize where it's being kind of distributed to. So yes, we do embrace AI. I think everybody needs to embrace AI, right. But we still have the human intervention on our main money sites. Now, I could show you 50 different websites where we've scaled some sites out from 0 to over 100,000 clicks a month that are absolutely crushing it, just 100% on AI in our testing kind of bed. So I might, if you ask me again in 6 months' time, I might change my tune a little bit as GPT-4 moves to GPT-5 or whatever it's going to be. I could. The open AI is only going to get better. So yes, I could have better prompts in place for sales copy. But at present, money pages, humans, blog, like supporting documents, AI, but still edited.
Interesting. Okay. And have you felt, or I guess the collection of websites that you have you seen any crazy impact from the recent algorithm updates? Or because you focus so hard on EEAT, you haven't? I've had two. We've probably got around 30, what I'd say, big sites, like big sites. And 2 of those sites have been hit like hard, right? Okay. And they've got all the heat signals. They've not got a toxic backlink profile. This is to do with content, right? The latest update is to do with the helpful content update. Is like, and do you know what? I feel it's the most bizarre update I've ever seen. And I feel they have to roll it back. Like, I know they're saying that they're not doing, right? But then I've got, like, this is a complete and utter myth, right? A complete and utter myth, right? But Google realized now that, and this is it's just like my own opinion, not a myth, but it's my own opinion about something. Okay. Google have realized that everyone now has become obsessed with correlated content, right? So I feel that Google have just put more wildcards in and say, right, okay, here's the best 2 affiliate sites for that product. These other 8 that are ranking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we've already got that content because the number 3 slot is just written it in Surfer or Market Moves or Phrase or Page Optimizer Pro, and it's using the same list of 10 TVs, saying the same thing, probably even listed in the same order because it's ordered by what pays the highest commission. We don't need
results 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because we've already got position 1 and 2 that have got that information. So I feel like they've kind of gone, if this content, it's almost like the reverse, that if this content is too similar to the ones that are ranking in positions 1 and 2, we're now going to get rid of it. And that's where like Reddit and Quora and all these other sites have just kind of jumped in, because it's completely different to what is ranking in positions 1 and 2. And they've kind of gone and done something with the dialing of being, we can't have any pages that are very similar. We can only have 20% of the pages on page 1 that are similar. And then we need to mix it up. And I feel like they've gone down the road of, they've created something within the algorithm that's messed around with this. And so many sites that have been hit, I'm looking at it and going, you've got good quality content, you've got topical authority, and you've got a good backlink profile. And so I'm slightly confused in some industries. Some industries I can see why some of them have been hit, but some of them I'm like, I'm still learning. Like, the R&D testing team have never been busier in all their life, because now they're having to go back to every single test of what they've done to say, what is wrong with this? And we must have 150 different, what I would class as being big SEOs in the industry, big affiliate marketers that are doing well over £100,000 a month, or was doing over £100,000 a month, that have come to us. And some it's just difficult to find what the problem is. Like, some it's really clear as day, but some it's like, surely they've got to roll this back, because on the reverse, where I say 2's been hit, I've got like probably 50 other sites that was probably only doing 5-10 grand a month, right? And some of them have jumped to 50 grand a month. And I'm like, I've not touched them for 3 years. They should not have jumped up. So I'm like, it's not just that we've been hit and they're going, oh, it's because you're not doing things right. I've got other sites here that haven't been updated in 3 years. They're out of date content, and it's jumped to number 1 for certain terms. And I'm thinking, my other site over here is way better than that. And this one's jumped in and shouldn't be there. So it's the strangest update I've ever come across in the last decade. I think it's very bizarre, the update, but.
Yeah, what do you think are the chances they roll it back? Because
I think they might have to. Like, I don't know. Really? There's certain, especially in some of the results I'm seeing. Like, there was like some Quora pages that no one had done a new answer since 2018. Yeah, and it was a technology-related blog, and no one's updated it since 2018. And you're like, you're telling me that's the best answer for this? Like, no chance. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll have to see. I think user behavioral signals are going to come back in and rejig and start sorting out. But we'll just have to, if it doesn't, we'll just have to adapt and see how you can do some sort of like forum-based type articles on, or discussions about which one is the best TV. They might not like one author saying here's the best 10 TVs. They might want a balanced opinion of different people's opinions of stuff, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Let's see how that develops. Okay, moving forward here. If you had a brand new site, what are the 3 main things, the 3 first things that you're doing to the site?
Building it, make certain I'm just ticking all the boxes for me, AT. Just get an address, get a telephone number, get an email address. Just get the core basics. There's no money involved in doing that. There's no like, it's just do what a real business would do. Get a Twitter account, get a Facebook account, maybe get a Pinterest account, something like that, get a YouTube channel, just to have them links put on there. Get the core basics in the footer, just get that set up. Then go and build maybe 50 pages. If you want to do AI, do AI. If you want to write it yourself. But try to go after low keyword difficulty. So try to start having certain pages that you think you can get top 5 rankings on. So ideally, keyword difficulty from 1 to 5. I'd go down that road, and then just branded naked URL links to the homepage. Maybe start off with like citations, forum links, just the majority of them are going to be no follow backlinks. They're not going to be powerful. They're not going to get your DR up to DR40 or anything like that. They're just going to get the foundations right And then from there, then hopefully you might be able to start earning. It might only earn 30, 40, 50 pound a month. Just keep then growing it and do the article velocity and link velocity. I don't feel like if you want to rank a site long term, don't just think you need the rankings within 2 weeks. Certain industries you can rank within 24 hours, right? But they're normally local and they're not going to make you a fortune. So like you've got to have kind of a 12-month plan. You've probably got to have a 5 to 10 grand budget realistically. Like it's so many people say, if you've got £1,000 to spend, what would you do? I'd say I'd go and get a job and save up some more money. So I've got £1,000. Because like, do you know what I mean? It's like, well, what car would you buy for £1,000? Well, you're going to have to buy an old car that's not that good. That's probably going to break down. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, I need to get one that's really nice. I'm like, well, you've only got £1,000 budget. Like, it's just save some money up. Go and learn SEO by helping other companies out. Work overtime to save up until you've got £10,000. But then just do things correctly and build it up slowly over time.
Love it. Yeah, great answer. Okay, let's do a kind of like a 2-part answer. If you had to start over today from scratch, no money, what niche, what industry, what type of business would you pick inside of SEO or not? I guess maybe you could also do not SEO. And then if you had 20K capital, so the difference between those two. Right.
Okay. If I was to start off with no capital, I would go local SEO.
Okay.
I'd go into certain industries where, let's say, a bricklayer or a roofer. So if I went down the roofing kind of idea, I'd go into like Check a Trade or Yell and see who's paying, or PPC, see who's paying at present for like pay-per-click. And I'd go and contact them saying, I can start generating some leads. What area are you working in? And I'd try and get 50 locations and I'd build a 50-page location site around where they work for roofers in Leicester, roofers in, or let's say it's New York, but all the little suburbs around New York. And you can probably get a site that might be earning you £200-300 a month. You don't really need that much in backlinks apart from citations. I'd probably then at that point, I'd probably ask them, could we use their address to create a GMB and try and get the GMB ranking as well? Just to start off with. I don't normally do it now because I feel like it's hard to replicate and grow out and manage so many different GMB profiles. So that's the kind of route that I do with no budget. If I had a £20,000 budget, I would buy a domain probably from ODYS, from Alex Drew at ODYS. The reason for that is it's like you've got a head start. You've already got a site that might have 2,000 referring domains, might already be a DR40. I'd go in, I'd research, I'd find like what I want to go into. And let's say it was, so in the US, I would go into appliance repair. So I'd go into like dishwasher repair, washing machine repair. I'd go into do all that, and I'd try and scale out that to do repairs of appliances. But then what I'd also do is, because there's quite a lot of search volume in like washing machine repair in the location, I'd put display ads on there. So it might have to start off as being Ezoic or AdThrive or AdSense. But once you've built it up to a decent size, you could put Mediavine on, which normally pay a little bit more. I try and build it up to try and get enough traffic to put Mediavine on, so I'm earning from display ads. I try to be selling leads for appliance repair to companies who can go and fix it. I'd also build out affiliate pages on there for like best washing machines, because if they're going to look for washing machine repair, I'd say you can have a call out here for £195 for someone to come and fix it. But why just buy a new one? It's going to cost you nearly the same price. And then I'd internal link it through to the best washing machines. So I'm getting paid by affiliate, I'm getting paid by lead gen, I'm getting paid by display ads. You could, even then in time, once it starts getting enough volume, you could then start having on the affiliate page like certain banner ads for extended warranty. And you sell like insurance on there as well. Extended warranty, and you get paid, I think it's something like £250 or something like that if someone signs up to an extended warranty for product insurance. So you've got lots of different ways of monetizing the site. and that's kind of how I do it with a thing. But I definitely start it on an age domain that's got referring domains and some sort of power, because the minute you create your first article, as long as it's loosely relevant to where it was, you're going to start getting traffic pretty much from day one.
Amazing. Wow. Bomb, knowledge bomb, golden nuggets. I love it. All right, last few questions here. So the future of SEO, SGE, what are you thinking? You still bullish?
Yes, in certain industries. I think certain industries who built out a lot of informational type websites, programmatic type SEO websites, I think they're going to struggle, because I think SGE is going to take over and give them the answers that's then not going to get their website to get the clicks anymore. So I think for sure, certain websites are going to be decimated with traffic. Like what used to get a lot of traffic and probably made money by display ads, top of the funnel type keywords, I think they're going to get hit hard. I think the bottom of the funnel stuff, they're still going to get a lot of the clicks. If you think of it this way, right? So here's something back to you. Google are a business and they make money by two different ways, right? Probably more than that, but two main ways. Mm-hmm. Pay-per-click. But people forget they make a lot of money from AdSense, from display ads. So if they do not give the clicks through to websites, they're not going to get paid on the ads that's on the sites. And they make a lot of money from that. So they're not going to nick all the clicks. All what they're trying to do, and I think it's quite clever, if I'm being honest with you, and SEOs won't like me saying this, they're trying to get the user from the top of the funnel question that no one's willing to pay for PPC on these terms. They're trying to give them the answer and then give them the next question to move them down the funnel until they get enough down the funnel that then someone's willing to pay for ads on them. So all that they're trying to do is fast track these people from top of the funnel to bottom of the funnel. Bottom of the funnel, Google gets paid on ads. And that's what I think they're trying to do. They're not going to say that. They're going to say it's all about the user. But in a way, it kind of is about the user. They're trying to get them to give the answers as quickly as possible, to get to the next question, to get to the next question, to get to the next question, to then be ready in the buying cycle or whatever it is they're wanting to do, to get to a keyword that then they can start showing the ads to. So that's you've just got to try to work out what's going to get decimated and what's not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And to be fair, I think that for a lot of these hyper informational queries, the experience is probably even better. It's just, you don't have to read 6 paragraphs to get to that answer. Right. Yeah. Cool. I do want to talk about a little bit, not related to SEO, but your horse racing business. What's going on there? When did that start? How did that come about?
It started about 4 years ago. I had like 5 or 6 really good years in business. Obviously, like wanted to make certain that I sorted my family out, that I'm mortgage free, that I'm financially free for the rest of my life. And kind of when I got to that point, my mum had retired, and I wanted to do something that me, my 2 older brothers, and my mum, we all love. And the one thing that we all loved was horse racing. So like I like football, my brother likes football, but my other brother likes tennis. So it was like one thing that we all enjoyed and we've always enjoyed is going, not just this specific racing, everything around the racing. Like my missus can get dressed up and look really nice and she can go to the races and stuff like that. And the whole stopping in a nice hotel nearby to the race course, and you just make a full weekend of it. So we got into basically, we bought a horse, then we bought a second horse and a third horse, and we've built it out now. We've got 14 race horses.
Wow.
We've had a lot of success from it. We didn't do it specifically we didn't do it for profits. We didn't do it we didn't really do it. I'm not saying we didn't do it for the success. Well, obviously we wanted to have winners, but we did it for the fun and love for the sport. And it's given us so many amazing memories. It brings me, my 2 brothers and my mum together, and all the rest of the family as well. We've been to Qatar, Dubai, Hong Kong. We've traveled all the world with the horses. We've had winners everywhere. And yeah, it's been a great success. It's been a lot of fun.
That's insane, and it's all from SEO. It's
all from SEO. Yeah,
it's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Well, James, listen, I really appreciate this podcast. So many knowledge bombs. So good. Where can people find you? Yeah,
I'm on all social media networks, so I'm actually starting being a little bit more. I'm posting quite a bit more now on like Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook and stuff like that. So probably say Twitter, James_Dooley, or Instagram, I think it's James Z Dooley. But if you go onto jamesdooley.com, that's got all the social media accounts and stuff like that on there. So that's probably the best way to start off, on jamesdooley.com.
Sounds good. Any YouTube channel coming in the future?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel on there. That's on the jamesdooley.com. So I think it's just James Dooley. It might be James Dooley SEO or James Dooley. That's going to start having YouTube shorts put on there and stuff.
Amazing.
Like that.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah.
I need some help from you. I love your videos.
No, dude, you don't need any help from me, dude. You're doing phenomenal.
I tell you what, I can talk, but like the editing and stuff like that, no chance. I'm going to need.
Well, you just let me know. I'm there. Yeah. I'm there. I appreciate it, James. Thanks so much for your time.
Chat about it.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thanks so much, James.
Good seeing you anyway.
See you.
Cheers.